Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Yashodanandana Brajadanarandana Yashodanandana Brajadanarandana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Brajadanarandana Yashodanandana Brajadanarandana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Radha, Madhav Radha, Madhav Radhe. Jaya Radha, Madhav Radha, Madhav Radhe. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Dayam Vishupad Paramahamsa Pri Bhradgachadrasto Tarasatta Sri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhai Charanarvinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Skandi Biti Founder Charyas Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Harinam Sankirtan Ki Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jani Thai Gaur Pimanande. All glorious to be assembled devotees, all glorious to be assembled devotees, all glorious to be assembled devotees, all glorious to Sri Guru and to Sri Gauranga, all glorious to Sri Prabhupada Ki. Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Parakamalam Sri Gurun Vaisnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakhanditam Scha Hai Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpati Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Saptakantana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Suti Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Vyaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamutirayan. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, let us first offer respectful obeisances unto Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, unto Narayana Rishi, the supremmost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta Prayasamadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Tamashloke Bhaktir Bhaviti Naistiki. By regularly hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam and by rendering a service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome within the heart that becomes destroyed or practically to nil, and loving devotional service unto the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, it becomes established as an irrevocable fact. Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Samhitam Uttama Shloka Charitam Chakara Bhagavan Rishi Nishreya Sayalokasya Dhanyam Viswasyayaram Mahat. The Srimad Bhagavatam, known as the Grantaraj, the king of all Vedic literatures, is the literary incarnation of God. It is compiled by the incarnation of God as Srila Vyasadeva. It is meant for the ultimate good of all people. It is all successful, all blissful, and all perfect. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Sarabhyaya Namaha Om Sarabhyaya Namaha Om Sarabhyaya Namaha Mukam Karoti Vasalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Bande Sri Gurum Dinataranam Yat Kripa Tamaham Bande Sri Gurum Dinataranam Hare Krishna. Welcome to our morning Bhagavatam class, continuing with Canto number 1, chapter 8, prayers by Queen Kunti. And today is text 32. Kechid Ahur Ajam Jatam Punya Slokasya Kirtaye Yado Priyashan Vavaye Priyasyan Vavaye Malayasyeva Chandanam Kechid Ahurajam Jatam Punya Slokasya Kirtaye Yado Priyasyan Vavaye Malayasyeva Chandanam Kechid Ahurajam Jatam Punya Slokasya Kirtaye Yado Priyasyan Vavaye Yado Priyasyan Vavaye Malasya Seva Chandanam Kechid Ahurajam Jatam Punya Slokasya Kirtaye Yado Priyasyan Vavaye Malasya Malayasyeva Chandanam Malaya Kechid Ahurajam Jatam Punya Slokasya Kirtaye Yado Priyasyan Vavaye Malayasyeva Chandanam Kechid Ahurajam Jatam Punya Slokasya Kirtaye Yado Priyasyan Vavaye Malayasyeva Chandanam Kechid ahurajam jatam kasya kirtaye yado priyasyan babaye malayasyeva chandanam. Kechid ahurajam jatam punya slokasya kirtaye yado priyasyan babaye malayasyeva chandanam. Kechid, someone, ahuhu, says, ajam, the unborn, jatam, being born, punya slokasya, of the great pious king, for glorifying Gadho, of King Gadu, Priyasya, of the deer, Anavaye, in the family of Malayasya, Malaya Hills, Eva, as Chandanam, sandalwood. Translation and purport by Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Some say that the unborn is born for the glorification of pious kings, and others say that he is born to please King Yadu, one of your dearest devotees. You appear in his family as sandalwood appears in the Malaya Hills. Kindly repeat after me. Some say that the unborn is born for the glorification of pious kings, and others say that he is born to please King Yadu, one of your dearest devotees. You appear in his family as sandalwood appears in the Malaya Hills. Translation. Yes. Purport. Because the Lord's appearance in this material world is bewildering, there are different opinions about the birth of the unborn. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that he takes his birth in the material world, although he is the Lord of all creations and is unborn. So there cannot be any denial of the birth of the unborn, because he himself establishes the truth. But still, there are different opinions as to why he takes his birth. And that is also declared in the Bhagavad Gita. He appears by his own internal potency to reestablish the principles of religion and to protect the pious and to annihilate the impious. That is the mission of the appearance of the unborn. Still, it is said that the Lord is there to glorify the pious king Yudhishthira. Lord Sri Krishna certainly wanted to establish the kingdom of the Pandavas for the good of all in the world. When there is a pious king ruling over the world, the people are happy. When the ruler is impious, the people are unhappy. In the age of Kali, in most cases, the rulers are impious and therefore the citizens are also continuously unhappy. But in the case of democracy, the impious citizens themselves elect their representative to rule over them, and therefore they cannot blame anyone for their unhappiness. Maharaj Maharaj Nala was also celebrated as a great pious king, but he had no connection with Lord Krishna. Therefore, Maharaj Yudhisthira is meant here to be glorified by Lord Krishna. He had also glorified King Yadu, having taken his birth in the family. He is known as Yadava, Yaduvira, Yadunandana, etc. Although the Lord is always independent of such obligation. He is just like the sandalwood that grows in the Malaya hills. Trees can grow anywhere and everywhere, but because the sandalwood trees grow mostly in the area of the Malaya hills, the name sandalwood and the Malaya hills are interrelated. Therefore, the conclusion is that the Lord is ever unborn, like the sun, and yet he appears as the sun rises on the eastern horizon. As the sun is never the sun of the eastern horizon, so the Lord is no one's son, but he is the Father of everything that be. Translation again. Some say that the unborn is born for the glorification of pious kings, and others say that he is born to please King Yadu, one of your dearest devotees. You appear in his family as sandalwood appears in the Malaya hills. Srila Prabhupada mentions how the appearance of the Lord in the material world is bewildering, and that there are different opinions about why he appears. Mm. He is simultaneously unborn because he's eternal, but he appears, uh, he seems to take ordinary birth as he did as the son of Vasudeva and Devaki, and he performs seemingly ordinary pastimes as uh, as a son, as a young boy, as a child. But simultaneously, those pastimes are not so ordinary because mixed in those ordinary pastimes are extraordinary pastimes. So, Prabhupada elaborates a little bit on the reason for the Lord's appearance. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya saduskitam dharma samstapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Whenever there is a necessity uh, especially to reestablish the principles of Dharma. the Lord, the Lord generally appears actually through different incarnations. He rarely appears himself directly, as he did 5,000 years ago. That is a very unique and very rare appearance of the Lord. Mm. But he appears for those primarily for these three reasons: to give pleasure to his devotees, to associate actually with his devotees, to annihilate the miscreants, and to reestablish the principles of Dharma. And the purport Prabhupada explains what we are able to experience in modern day society, that when there are rulers in society who are not following the principles of Dharma, the whole situation becomes uh, totally chaotic and is a cause of all types of disturbances and unhappiness in society. Mm. So therefore, the need uh, for reestablishing such individuals who are knowing and understanding about Dharma. Mm. When um, when these principles of Dharma are not known or not followed, such such a society or such a civilization actually is not even considered human civilization. Mm. So that is um, that is meant to be the primary um, role or responsibility actually of those who are followers of the Lord or devotees of the Lord, to understand actually what is that mission of the Lord. Just like in ordinary life, if people don't have some goal in life, then they cannot be, uh, what is it, motivated. Uh, People are generally motivated because they have some particular goal. Of course, most people have material goals. I want to make so much money. I want to have a nice house. So many material motivations are there. But the real uh, motivation is essential. Actually, people who have no motivation, they're generally what is it? Morose, unhappy. So devotees also have motivation, but their motivation is totally on a different level. Our motivation is, of course, ultimately to uh, to please Krishna, to serve Krishna. Uh, and that motivation, um, actually, what's the word that motivation is connected with in Sanskrit? That is nicely explained by Srila Rupa Goswami. Utsaha. Utsaha means enthusiasm. Oh, yeah, isn't it? And enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is connected with motivation, isn't it? We have to be uh, we have to be rightly or properly motivated in life. Uh, we have to be motivated to get up in the morning. Not always easy. We have to be motivated in the beginning. That is, uh, we all experience. We have to, in many ways, like push ourselves to be motivated, or force ourselves. But that motivation gradually, Prabhupada uses a nice example. Just like a car that's uh, not starting. Lately, our car doesn't start. So then Prabhupada says, what's the way to start a car? You have to push it. You push, then it starts. Yeah. So spiritual life is like that. We have to push ourselves. We have to push others. we have, but mostly we should push ourselves. Should not be overly concerned about pushing others, unless we are designated to be a pusher, or to be directing or helping others to become motivated. Without motivation, uh, we we become overwhelmed actually by especially in Kali Yuga, especially the world uh, in itself, similar to the Lord actually, um, to the Lord's activities. The world can be and is actually very bewildering. Uh, Especially, it becomes even more so, more bewildering when there is little or less or vague conception of what is our mission in life, isn't it? So, the simple thing to understand: the Lord has a very clear mission when He descends in the material world, and it is our primary goal and objective actually to clearly understand what is that mission of the Lord, because it is only when we understand what is that mission of the Lord that we can become part of that mission, isn't it? And it is only that particular mission of the Lord which actually can take us out of our bewildering and uh, miserable condition of life. And so here the aspect of unborn, this is what he's very particular about details. uh, mm, Actually, for the last few verses, this uh, theme, the theme um, of being bewildered uh, when thinking about the Lord and when trying to understand the Lord, because we cannot fully understand the Lord. Uh, mm. So although the Lord uh, and His activities are not cannot be so easily understood, cannot at all be understood actually simply by our um, by our material intelligence. Um, we in the same mood or spirit as Kunti Devi, we can appreciate uh, active the activities of the Lord, and we can come to know something about the Lord and His purpose uh, for appearing in the material world. So why does Prabhupada here, well, it's in the text itself, Prabhupada elaborates on it a little bit. Why this example is given of sandalwood?
It gives nice smell.
Gives nice?
Smell, aroma.
Yes.
Particularly grows at the place called Malaya Hills.
Because it have many unique qualities.
Because it has many unique qualities.
Many good qualities. And that makes that tree famous. And one sandalwood appears.
Okay. Yes, Hare Krishna. But here, actually in the text it says, you appear in his family, King Yadu.
Prabhu, we are on bhagavatam. Yeah, but he's not disturbed.
Yeah, I'm more disturbed by him.
Yeah, that's the point.
So here it says, Queen Kunti is telling to Krishna, she's just explaining, some say that the unborn is born for the glorification of pious kings, and others say that he is born to please King Yadu, one of your dearest devotees. And you appear in his family, in the Yadu family, as sandalwood appears in the Malaya hills.
Well,
Yes.
the Malaya Hills are known for sandalwood, and usually, especially in India, one associates sandalwood coming from the Malaya Hills.
Where are the Malaya hills?
I really don't know.
In Malaysia.
Oh, they're in Malaysia.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, isn't it?
But still, people associate. Most Westerners don't understand that connection,
Right.
like me.
Correct. So the point being that sandalwood is known from where it comes from,
Right.
primarily, which is Malaya Hills. And for those who may not know, Malaya Hills, Prabhupada mentions, is Malaysia. Because now they've shifted from sandalwood to palm. They make palm oil. The whole country, if you fly over Malaysia, all you see is palm trees. But yeah, it was known. So Malaya Hills are, sandalwood is known or connected with Malaya Hills. So similarly, Krishna is known or connected with Yadu dynasty. And in the purport, Yadava, Yadunandana, different names that are connected. So although Krishna actually is not really ultimately connected with anyone, he's not anyone's father, or not anyone's child, rather, uh, or father for that matter. Uh, but he has connection actually with the living entities according to uh, different relationships that are that are established. Some of which uh, he displays or manifests when he appears, as he did, let's say, 5,000 years ago. He has an intimate direct connection with the Yadu dynasty. He has an intimate relationship, Hare Krishna, with the Brajavasis, residents of Vrindavan. Mm. he has he is known, of course, and renowned for his pastimes in Dwarka. Mm. But he remains I mean, yeah. In this pastime, in this more recent appearance of the Lord 5,000 years ago, he appeared as the son of Vasudeva and Devaki. But he appeared previously also as somebody else's son. Uh, so, uh, so Krishna in this way performs so many, um, so many pastimes and so many activities that are not so easy to understand. But all of those pastimes and all of those activities are meant to to awaken the living entity, to give an opportunity for the living entities to regain, isn't it, their original eternal constitutional position as his eternal servants. Yeah. Mm. So yeah, here for example, he mentions how uh, who's Maharaj here is mentioned. I've not heard this. Who is Maharaj Nala?
I don't know.
Nala is the Nala Damayanti story is there.
Huh?
Nala Damayanti.
Nala Dayamanti.
Damayanti.
Mahabharatam.
Mahabharata, in the Mahabharata.
And he's famous or infamous for what? What do you know about him? Besides being in Mahabharata?
He is famous in cooking.
Cooking.
Yeah,
Oh.
Nalabhima Paka.
That's it?
Yeah.
You have read your Mahabharata?
Yes.
Yes. Well, here it says that Maharaj Nala was also celebrated as a great pious king
Yeah.
and a good cook, I guess, also.
Yes.
But he had no connection with Lord Krishna. So that's probably why we don't know him, about him so much. Whereas, therefore, Maharaj Yudhisthira is meant here to be glorified by Lord Krishna because he's part of the Yadu dynasty. So in other words, Krishna is glorified and whoever is connected with Krishna also becomes glorified. Prabhupada one time was explaining, actually the devotees of the Lord, there's a nice example which just comes to mind also, we can share. The advanced devotees of the Lord, they shun, they reject, they don't want to be glorified. They are happy taking on a humble position. Ah. So there's, I remember when reading that for the first time, it was a very wonderful example of that. In the past, that's in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. We will all recall, we'll take a short trip to Remuna. Uh, Remuna is very famous, of course, as we know, for the Kirchor, Gopinath, Kirchor Gopinath, Gopinath, deity of Gopinath stole the kir for his devotee, Madhavendra Puri. And that story was actually narrated by Nityananda Prabhu. And Madhavendra Puri was a very exalted Hare Krishna, uh, cool cat.
Attractive. You should have done it.
Hey, don't let him go in the. It can't be that cool. There are limits here. You're off limit. So Madhavendra Puri was, uh, I mean, he was very such an advanced devotee that Krishna appeared to him and talked to him, and you know that whole story in Vrindavan, uh, and the Lord actually, um, after explaining to him that you have to, I'm hiding somewhere. You have to take me and place me on Govardhan Hill like that. Then we're connected here with Sandalwood. The Lord told him actually, being buried for a long, long time. Get me out of here. So, as we know, Madhavendra Puri had all the so many residents of Vrindavan. They found where he was. They took him out and then they installed him on Govardhan Hill. Hey,
Hey,
you want to sit down? You can sit down. So then, after taking him out of this cold and humid and wet place, they installed him. But it's hot in Vrindavan. So after some time, he appeared again in his dream that now I'm too hot. I'm very hot. You have to get some sandalwood, you know. So in those days, where to get sandalwood? You just can't call Amazon.
may not give you the real stuff.
Yeah, right. So the place to get sandalwood at that time was in where?
From Orissa province,
Where in Orissa? Jagannath Puri
near to Jagannath.
port. Because Malaysia, it was coming by ship.
Right.
They had ships at that time. Krishna went on a ship. You know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah. Anyways, uh, back to our story. Otherwise, we'll sail away somewhere. So then Madhavendra Puri was very happy. Yes, my Lord has given me a, a seva, very special seva. So so he went from Vrindavan, walked all the way to towards Jagannath Puri. On the way, of course, you stop in when you shortly after entering Orissa. That the first district is called Balasore district. Uh, and that there is Jaliswar, and soon after Jaliswar there is Yamuna. So Madhavendra Puri stopped in Yamuna um, and took darshan of Gopinath, and we know the story. Well, that's the story we're really we've heard it before. Uh, so he used to fast. He took this vow, which very few people take. What vow did he take?
To never stop worshiping his,
No,
his beauty.
he might have taken that vow also, but there's a special vow in connection with Prasadam. His vow was that he'll never ask anyone for anything, including food, because those who are like brahmanas or sannyasis, they can, like in Vrindavan, people do madhukari. They'll go and they'll beg. Raghunath Das Goswami was begging at some point then, but he stopped begging also. So, anyways, he had taken that it's a very serious vow, never to ask anything to anyone. So when he was taking darshan of the Lord and he saw this wonderful kheer being offered in his mind, he said, "Wow, this kheer must be out of this world." And then he checked himself right away because he thought, I committed an offense. I'm lusting for tasting this kheer. So then he left, thinking that I'm a sinful person. I should not be here. And then, as we know, the Lord appeared uh, to the pujari Hey, wake up. You forgot. He's really wanting to attend bhagavatam class.
I'm very sorry. That cat followed me here, and I chased him. I chased her away a few times,
Okay.
but somehow or other she figured out.
She's your cat?
No,
Okay.
no,
She's
she
following
comes.
anyone who is walking slowly.
She followed you here.
Yes,
Yeah,
and I chased her away a few times.
I
yeah,
see,
but
okay.
But then I thought, okay, now she's gone.
She likes you.
Hare Krishna.
Some special attraction.
Yeah,
Some
that's it.
special, yeah. So um so then Pujari woke up, because it doesn't happen every night that the Lord appears to him. Then he said, no, I took them all out, man. Don't argue with the Lord. So anyways, he went, and sure enough, he found one pot of kheer. And the Lord told him, when you find this pot of kheer, I kept it there actually for my devotee. His name is Madhavendra Puri. You go and give it to him. So he's, he in total ecstasy. Wow, this pot of kheer, Krishna is engaging me like this in his seva. So he went out of the temple compound and he started walking around and calling out the name. Hey, Madhavendra Puri, Madhavendra Puri. So Madhavendra Puri was not too far away, and by that time he had dozed off, and then he woke up. This was before dawn. It was still at night, and then the pujari offered his obeisances to him, and he says, "Wow, you're so fortunate, and I'm so fortunate. uh, Here's a pot of kheer that the Lord actually told me to give to you." And he told him the whole story. So Madhavendra Puri was in total ecstasy, naturally. And he tasted this kheer and it was like, wow. Then he thought to himself, I got to get out of here. I have to leave this place immediately because this pujari is not going to keep quiet. This pujari is going to tell everybody what happened. And then everyone's going to start looking for me and thinking that I'm just such a great person and will offer their obeisances. So the story continues that he immediately left and he went south towards Jagannath Puri. And then when he arrived in a place called Katak, which is not too far, I think King Prataparudra used to live in Katak when he was ruling. Then when he arrived in Katak, he was thinking, I got away. When he arrived in Katak, everyone already knew.
It's like
without
devotees.
internet.
Without internet.
It's like devotees.
Facebook.
Everyone knows right away.
So everyone started to glorify him. The point being that a devotee doesn't want to be glorified, but the Lord arranges for his devotee to be glorified. So like Yudhishthira Maharaj, automatically anyone who's connected with Krishna, they're known because of their connection with Krishna. Isn't it? Like sandalwood, the Malaya hill is known because of sandalwood. Uh, so the devotees are known because of our connection with Krishna. And this King Mala, whom I never heard about, we never heard about him too much because he's not connected with Krishna.
We are not reading other Puranas.
We're not reading other
There are
Puranas.
other Puranas who are mentioning he's the most famous king of the world, like most pious king of the world.
Right. Yes.
And he went through so many difficulties as Yudhishthira Maharaj.
Yes.
So they compare who is the most pious king, and some says Mala.
Yes. Yes. But we know better.
Because
We know better because he's
he was
connected
not
with.
connected with any Vishnu or other.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's so many well-known, famous people in the world today, right? I mean, who do all kinds of
The rich
extraordinary things. So many movie stars are there, etc. But we know maybe a few who are connected with Krishna. I
the
don't know.
grandson of Lord Ford.
Yes, he's not a movie star, but he's Albert. What's his name? Uh, anyways, Ford. Yeah, Ford. Albert, not Albert. Alf. Uh,
Alfred. Amarish Food.
Ambarish Ford.
Ambani.
Alfred
Ambarish Prabhu.
Prabhu.
Ambarish Das, not Ambarish Ford. Al, Alf, Alfred.
Alfred.
Alfred Ford. Yeah, the cat is just waiting. Whoop, having his own pastimes. So yes, um, the devotees also, um, yeah, because of our connection. So that is our good fortune to be having some kind of connection with Krishna, and it is our good fortune, and that good fortune will eventually bring us to the ultimate fortune of one day becoming qualified.
They are angry with the cat.
Yeah, the cat is.
Yeah,
He would
trying
love
to
to be
catch
able
them.
for them
to jump on that bamboo pole.
immediate danger. Maybe they have children.
Yeah, right. Yes, yes. You have brought a predator.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. We'll forgive you this time. Don't let it happen again.
Okay. So if she follows me, I should go back.
No, have a stick. Just a little stick.
Yeah, you're qualified to have a stick.
I am?
Yes.
Oh.
Old age, we should have a stick.
Oh.
But you're so transcendental, you don't even know you're in. I mean, it's not unusual for older people to have sticks,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Right.
Yeah, especially
Snakes coming, monkeys
yeah,
coming,
especially in like a country place where we have jackals and monkeys and cats. So, any thoughts or questions? Yes.
Here, in this sloka says, Jadu Maharaj, dearest devotee of Lord, how he dearest.
How he's the dearest? Because uh, he was dharmic. Dharmic. Anyone who's following dharma is dear to the Lord. How he was the dearest, one would have to study his, I guess, his activities. I that must be described somewhere in Mahabharata or something. I don't know specifically why he is very dear because it's a whole we call lineage within the Yadu dynasty. Uh, so many pious, so many devotees of the Lord appeared. So he might have done something very unique and special. I'm not aware of, but it's yes.
You say Jadu Maharaj is pious dharmic.
Huh?
You say Jadu Maharaj is pious dharmic, but
Expired?
pious,
Pious.
dharmic.
Dharmic, yes.
But I listen Jadu Maharaj not heard his father, what he said, Jajati Maharaj.
He did not what?
He did not follow his father's word.
He did not follow his father's
Words.
word.
He disobeyed his father's word. And Shastra say parents and guru not parents and guru's word not disobey.
Well, it depends what the father and guru say. I mean, sometimes uh, sometimes normally one should, of course, yeah, normally one should follow authorities when they are following dharma. But I don't know the specific story here about him not following. What was the order that he did not follow?
Jajati Maharaj ordered him to give his young age.
Yes, to
Young age.
Yeah,
To his,
Yadu was the first who
Yeah.
was asked
Yes,
to give the
elder son Jodhu.
youngest, and he decided not to.
he decided not to give. And who ended up giving?
Puru.
And Jodhu said to Jajati Maharaj, because you not use my young age for dharma, so I not give you
My youth.
my young age. You use my young age for last desire.
Yes, yes, yes. Well,
Yes,
he had a good reason not to give
yeah,
his youth.
teaching your father.
So he not give. He say disobey his father.
Good.
Yes. So that's a valid question. Why? Um,
And then Jajati Maharaj, his dynasty give Puru Maharaj, not Jadu. Even he elder son.
yes. So it's a valid question. Why here? Uh, some say that the unborn is born for the glorification of pious kings, and others say that he is born to please King Yadu, one of your dearest devotees. Good question. He rarely asks questions, but when he asks questions, he asks good questions.
That's good. Actually, I have another question.
Well, what about answering the first one?
Maybe, I don't know,
Okay, it might throw some light on the first question,
or maybe
make it more complicated.
more complicated.
Go ahead.
So, my question in this verse, the emphasis is that Krishna appears for his devotees, the Yadavas, in this case.
Yes.
And in the 8th canto, it says that Krishna appears. This is very interesting because it's a verse describing the appearance of the Matsya incarnation, the fish.
Fish incarnation.
Yeah. So, right in the verse, it says, and Krishna appears to protect the cows, the brahmanas, give pleasure to his devotees. So, and my question is, Krishna protecting the cows. This is one of the principles of Dharma.
Yes. Protecting the cows.
It's a Dharma. It's Dharma. At the same time, Krishna says, give up all varieties of Dharma, of religion, and just surrender to me.
Yes.
So in our ISKCON society, we have a kind of sometimes very heated discussions, and sometimes it's just an undercurrent. Well, we don't have to focus on protecting cows because we're chanting the holy name, and the chanting is above all Dharma.
Yes.
And so this is this creates actually it's very difficult sometimes to try to get devotees to understand how important this principle is.
So there's a need for clarification.
Yes, all the way around. I mean, devotees, they understand, most devotees understand cows, we offer puja, cows are special,
We
Krishna
offer
loves cows.
obeisances from a distance.
Right. But the but but many devotees do not understand that how important this cow protection is for actually our spiritual life and actually for preaching. Because in this day and age, it's the more than the total opposite. It's wholesale slaughter of cows, and and
Yes.
therefore, I don't know. Doesn't it become our duty to protect this dharma,
Uh,
like
okay.
great men
The,
do, others
the
follow?
the question being that mm, Krishna says abandon all varieties of dharma, and it seems that sometimes devotees uh, take that literally and abandon the dharma of protecting cows.
Yeah, it's there. It's there. I hear it. It's a misunderstanding, I believe. But
Can I
Yes.
put the same question? Can we prove that protecting cows is Sanatana Dharma, not Naimitika Dharma?
Can we prove that protecting cows is part of
Sanatana,
Sanatan Dharma,
which you never give up.
which we should never give up, as opposed to temporary Dharma?
Yeah.
Hmm. Um, what falls in the category, actually, we discussed a little bit about this yesterday at the program. There are two levels, what we call spiritual swadharma and material swadharma. And sometimes one will argue that, well, if we are fixed and focused on performing our spiritual swadharma, then the material swadharma becomes secondary and not so important, or we can neglect it. And in the context of cow protection, one may use that argument that I mean, very often devotees actually make that very argument. We're devotees, we're chanting Hare Krishna, and Kali Yuga, the Yuga Dharma in Kali Yuga is chant the holy name, isn't it? Finally. So this is um, something that needs deeper attention and deeper understanding because, yes, the Yuga Dharma is the chanting of the holy name, and that is directly connected with Sanatan Dharma. And, uh, you know, we refer to Varnashrama Dharma as, as a material Dharma and as secondary and temporary. But actually, Varnashrama Dharma, which a very fundamental dimension or aspect of Varnashrama Dharma is actually protection of cows. Because the whole Vedic culture, the whole Vedic economy is directly connected with cow protection, isn't it? So, two things. One is that both dimensions, spiritual Swadharma, which is the pure activities of the soul, in terms of bhakti, devotional service, is an eternal activity, and also, therefore, part of Sanatana Dharma, and also the system which is created by Krishna, which is given by Krishna, of Varnashrama Dharma, again, where cows are like the basis and the foundation of that culture, that is also part of Sanatana Dharma. That is the eternal system that Krishna gives to the conditioned souls in the material world, and therefore that system cannot be given up, which means that cow protection cannot be given up. That's one aspect. The other aspect is that until and unless we are fully detached and disconnected with the modes of material nature,
Mm.
until we reach that level of completely, Paramahamsa stage, fully pure, uh, liberated stage, no tinge, no connection whatsoever with the modes of material nature. Hey, stubborn guy or girl, whatever. We cannot abandon Varnashrama Dharma. This statement is made especially by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, that Varnashrama Dharma is for the Vaishnavas in their conditioned state. Varnashrama Dharma is for the Vaishnavas in their conditioned state. But even Vaishnavas who are not in their conditioned state, majority of Vaishnavas are still battling with the modes of material nature. Even those who are no longer connected with the modes of material nature, they respect and understand the importance of Varnashrama, and to give example, they will work within that system of Varnashrama Dharma. Where cows, I mean, when Krishna performs his activities in Vrindavan, Krishna's Vrindavan village, those are all transcendental activities, isn't it?
Yes, with cows.
And and the center is cows. Yeah, right. Because that's a reflection of what is going on in Goloka. We're on the same page.
I'm sorry.
In Goloka Vrindavan. You're slightly ahead of me.
I'm sorry, Maharaj.
No problem.
It was spontaneous.
Yes. It is good. We must all come to the spontaneous platform. So, so it is a misunderstanding that because we're devotees, we don't have to give so much importance to that. As a matter of fact, here's a statement that fully supports the point you're making, which is in the book entitled Light of the Bhagavat, which many devotees have
Light
not.
of the Bhagavad.
Light of the Bhagavat, written by Srila Prabhupada in 1963, I believe, before going to the Western countries. And there are many wonderful statements, actually. It's not a very big book, but a very important one. And one of those statements is that those who are serious to bring about positive changes within society, those who are serious to actually reestablish the principles of Dharma, I'm paraphrasing, must first give their attention to cow protection. I'm sure you've read that.
I know that. I know that by heart.
I would think so. Yes. And that this horrific and totally demoniac activity of cow slaughter is the most suicidal policy ever enacted by persons who are demoniac in nature, who don't understand about Dharma. So these two things, right? Uh, Devotees who actually understand properly about Dharma, we must first, if we want to bring changes, and that is part of the mission. Part of the mission is to bring about, Prabhupada says, One of the purposes of the Krishna consciousness movement is to bring a complete overhaul. If you've never had a car break down, you won't know what is an overhaul. Complete change. You have to change your engine. It's like a heart transplant.
They usually offer you you should just get a new car.
Yeah, right.
Because it's so
Yeah,
dramatic.
unless you're really attached to your car.
Right.
So it's like yes. So but that doesn't answer his question.
But just to end, this is very sweet what you just said. I was in Belgaum with my husband one time.
You were where?
In Belgaum.
Okay, Belgaum.
Belgaum Temple.
Yes.
And Bhakti Rasamrita Swami was there. And while we were there, a calf was born.
Yes.
And Dr. Sri Kumar, Dr. Roy invited me to come and be there for the birth of this calf.
Okay.
Beautiful little bull calf. He was so beautiful. He was white, and between the stumps where the
Tilak.
horns would be, there was this black line and around the back. And when Bhakti Rasamrita Swami came to see this calf, had darshan of this calf, he said, Maharaj, look, he has a crown on his head. He's born with a crown. It's a beautiful bull, isn't he? Maharaj said, yes. And his name should be Dharma. And the Dharma for the sage is the chanting of the holy name.
Yo.
When he said that, I just became completely ecstatic.
Yes, yes.
It's not disconnected from the chanting of the holy name.
So the chanting of the holy name is connected with cows.
Yes.
Yes.
I found one quote from Lord Chaitanya, because definitely Krishna is protecting the cows. But some can argue, but the new age in Kali, we just chant. But when Lord Chaitanya was discussing with the Kazi, then he argued that cow protection is essential. So Krishna Chaitanya himself proving that cow protection should not be offered.
Actually, is the first thing he said to the Kazi.
Yeah. So that is the
Apart
proof.
from the normal greetings
Yes,
between
yes, yeah.
people, he just immediately told the Kazi, you have to stop. You have to stop
Killing
this
animal, yes.
slaughter.
Yeah, sometimes people ask, what's Lord Chaitanya's connection with cows? That's the connection.
That's the connection.
Yeah.
Actually, Lord Chaitanya is described with manifest ecstatic symptoms when he would see cows,
When you would see cows.
because he would remind him of Krishna.
Yeah. Correct. Yes.
Imagine what would have happened if Lord Chaitanya had seen someone killing a cow.
Right. Yeah.
Refuting the Kazi's statement, the Lord immediately replied, the Vedas clearly enjoin that cows should not be killed. Therefore, every Hindu, whoever he may be, avoids including in cow killing. That was his verse. Of course, we are not Hindus, but
Oh, I think the purport
yeah.
is
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, so there are some.
Those who are followers of Sanatan Dharma,
right.
basically. Yeah.
In,
Yeah.
in Mathura, there is one German Mataji, Sudevi Mataji.
I met her. Yeah.
She has a big, huge
Goshala,
goshala.
protecting cows. Yeah, since many, many years.
Where is that?
In Vrindavan,
In Vrindavan.
one
yes.
German Mataji,
Yes.
since many, many years, has been very selflessly working to protect cows, and she takes in cows, because a little bit like Kurmarupa
Right.
used to do, right? Yes.
For tomorrow, I have a question.
For
For tomorrow.
for
because-
tomorrow, you have a question.
Yeah.
In connection with this verse or tomorrow's
For
verse?
this verse.
Oh, this verse. Oh, I see. Okay.
No, because there is a statement that Krishna appears by his own in own which
With,
energy?
uh, by his own internal energy.
No, his own Atma Maya means by his own internal energy. Yeah. So, and that's also explained in the Bhagavad Gita that I'm appearing in by my internal energy. But what does it mean exactly? Why is the special um, words mentioned when the Lord appears? Why he is appearing by his internal energy? Means why that should be just he comes by his will. So why is very specially mentioned that something has to be behind that?
He appears by his own internal energy
Yeah.
means that who he is, what he is in the spiritual world, is the same when he comes in the material world. He's not taking on any kind, because that's the misunderstanding of most people. And Krishna says that, and also, people avajananti mamudha manusham tanumasitam. People think I appear as ordinary material human being, but I appear in my own internal energy. I mean, I'm the same uh, as I am in the spiritual world, and at any stage of life, even as a small child, I'm the supreme personality of Godhead. So that statement in the Bhagavad Gita is, I mean, is to explain that the Lord, uh, he is always, as Prabhupada explained, he's always situated in his eternal spiritual form, and he acts on that platform. He he performs super human feats that only somebody who's on that platform can can
So
can
can
do.
we say that if someone asks which internal energy helps the Lord to come, that means the Karuna Shakti?
Which internal energy means
I
the
mean, the naming because different energies have names.
well, Krishna is known as, he appears in his Satchit Ananda Vigraha.
Yeah, that I understand,
Right.
but the internal energies have different internal energies of Krishna. And one of the internal energies is the Karuna Shakti. So the Karuna Shakti makes Krishna to appear in the material world where he not necessarily should appear. You know, he can establish Dharma by someone to send, like Lord Jesus or someone, Buddha, anyone can do that job.
Yes.
But he comes personally because the Karuna Shakti makes him to appear. Coming personally means the king not should come
Yeah.
if he have so many ministers and other servants.
Right.
So maybe that's a special
Uh,
order for the Lord. He
mm,
have to follow his Karuna Shakti's order to come personally, not just sending or incarnations.
yeah, that is there. I mean, the Lord either directly, more so in many ways, it's a greater sign of compassion. He appears, he sends his, as you mentioned, his different representatives or different incarnations, but he also personally appears, which shows an even greater kind of compassion and also desire to personally interact. I mean, that verse is there in the Bhagavad Gita. The Lord appears to to please his devotees, to interact and perform lila or pastimes with his devotees. Yeah, Karuna Shakti. Yes. Okay. Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Jai Sri Prabhupada ki. Gaura Pimanandi. So now you can take your cat.
Pardon?
You can take your cat back now.
I'm very
He's
sorry.
waiting.